In Japan, you could be polite your entire life and still offend someone before lunch just by doing 9 things that feel completely normal back home. I'm not talking about obvious tourist mistakes, not forgetting to bow or saying the wrong word. I mean the habits you've had for years, the ones so automatic you don't even think about them because everyone around you has always done the same. Picture this. You're in a small restaurant in Tokyo. The broth is perfect. The service is attentive and warm. When you leave, you do what you always do. You pull out a few bills and set them on the table. A thank you, a gesture that says the meal was worth it. The server follows you to the door, bowing, holding the money back out to you. You try to refuse. They try to explain. Neither of you quite has the words. You end up standing there in a kind of polite standoff that nobody wanted. That's Japan, the most courteous country most people will ever visit, and somehow one of the easiest places to accidentally get things wrong. 9 habits, all completely normal where you come from, all quietly surprising or genuinely uncomfortable for the people around you there. Number 4, the one I put in the title, is something most people do every single day. When we get there, you'll know exactly why it made the list. And number 9 we'll save for last, because that one isn't about what you do, it's about how you speak. And it might stay with you a lot longer than the rest of this video. Let's get into it. Number 1, tipping. You finish a great meal, feel good about it, and leave a few bills on the table. Natural, a gesture of appreciation. Then the server follows you outside to give it back. This catches almost every Western visitor off guard their first time in Japan. Because where you come from, a tip is how you say you did a great job. It's generous. It's how the system works. But Japanese service runs on a different foundation, omotenashi. It's usually translated as hospitality, but that doesn't quite do it. Omotenashi means giving everything you have to the person in front of you, fully, from the heart, with no expectation of additional reward. The server didn't work hard hoping you'd leave more money. They worked hard because that's what the moment deserves and what the craft requires. When you leave money behind, it can land, unintentionally, as suggesting their service needed supplementing, that what they gave wasn't quite enough on its own. It's not that they're ungrateful, it's that they've already given you everything. The tip complicates something that was, to them, already whole. If you want to show appreciation, show it another way. Accept things with both hands. Make eye contact when you thank them. Arigatou gozaimashita, said slowly and meant genuinely, carries more weight than any bill on the table. Number 2 seems even more innocent, until you try it walking through Kyoto. Number 2, eating or drinking while walking. The Japanese word for it is Tabearuki, literally walking eating. Some tourist destinations have food stalls set up with exactly this in mind, but along temple paths, through residential streets, and on commuter platforms, it's something to think twice about. In Japan, eating is something you give your full attention to. You sit with it. You're present. Doing it on the move, phone in one hand, snack in the other, weaving through a crowd, signals that the food is just another task to get through, that you don't have time to stop for it. There's also the shared space piece. Food drips, it smells, wrappers end up somewhere. In a culture where public spaces are maintained with quiet, collective care, nobody assigned to the job, everyone just doing it, eating while walking introduces a small but real kind of friction. Nobody will say anything, but you'll feel that gap between how the street feels and what you're bringing to it. Find a spot, step aside, eat first, then walk. Number 3 is one nobody talks about, but everyone around you notices. Number 3, you're on a train or in a quiet cafe, your nose starts running, and you do what anyone would do. You reach for a tissue and take care of it. In Japan, this creates a moment. The word is Meiwaku, causing inconvenience or discomfort to the people you share a space with. Japan has a strong collective sensitivity to what we bring into shared environments, not just volume. Sounds, smells, any kind of uninvited intrusion, all of it falls under the same umbrella. You'll notice that people on Japanese trains rarely clear their throats loudly, rarely sneeze dramatically, and almost never blow their nose in public. If they need to, they find a bathroom. They step out of the shared space first. It's not squeamishness. It's the understanding that what you do in a space you share with others, every sound, every ripple, is something those people didn't choose. You weren't being inconsiderate. You were used to a world where your body's needs come first. Japan asks you to extend your consideration a little further outward before you act. Now. Number 4. The one I promised you. Number 4. Sumahara. That's a real Japanese word, and it translates roughly as smell harassment. Most people outside Japan have never heard it. Inside Japan, it's taken seriously enough to appear in workplace surveys, etiquette guides, and public conversations about what it means to share space with strangers. Here's the scenario. You've put on cologne or perfume before leaving. A normal amount, nothing extreme. You board the subway. The person next to you shifts slightly in their seat, then a little more. They don't say anything. They don't look at you, but there's a quiet, growing distance that wasn't there before. Japan's public spaces carry an unspoken expectation of sensory neutrality, not just quiet, neutral. A fragrance that's pleasant to you is still something entering someone else's personal air without their permission. Even a beautiful scent is an uninvited guest. Japanese etiquette guides note that Sumahara complaints in offices, on commuter trains, in closed spaces have been rising steadily since the 2000s. It's documented, it's discussed, and it has its own word, which is usually a sign that people have been thinking about it for a while. You spent money on that fragrance. You thought you smelled good. You did, in your world. But in Japan, what drifts into someone else's air without an invitation is a quiet intrusion, even a well-meaning one. Lighter application before you go out. On days when you know you'll be in a packed train car, consider going unscented. 5 is something you might be doing right now if you're watching this somewhere public. Number 5. Talking on the phone in public. Japan's trains are many things. Clean, impossibly punctual, engineered to a kind of precision that feels slightly unreal. They're also quiet, genuinely, collectively quiet. There's a term for it, manner mode. Your phone goes on vibrate when you board, not always because a sign says so, because everyone already knows. Calls don't happen on trains. If your phone rings, you silence it. You wait until you're off. When you board a packed commuter train and take a call at your normal speaking volume, you're filling a space that 50 people have collectively decided to keep quiet. Your voice doesn't just float, it lands on everyone. You weren't being loud, you were just using your phone the way you always do. But in that particular silence, one person talking feels enormous. Everyone in the car knows it. Text instead of call. If you have to pick up, "I'll call you right back," said quietly, and then hang up. Nobody minds that. What stands out is staying on the line. Number 6. Hear this before you sit down for your first meal in Japan. Number 6. 2 chopstick habits. Both matter. The first, sticking your chopsticks upright in a bowl of rice. You need to set them down and press them into the rice for a moment. Seems harmless, but this is specifically how incense sticks are placed at a Japanese funeral altar for the dead. The image is immediate and unmistakable, even when the gesture was completely casual. The second, passing food directly from your chopsticks to another person's chopsticks. You want to share something, so you hold it out and they receive it. This is the exact motion used at Japanese cremation ceremonies, when family members pass the bones of a deceased relative between them, chopstick to chopstick, as a final act of care. Neither of these is superstition. It's a visual language every person at that table absorbed long before they could read. When they see it, even made accidentally, even with the best intentions, a specific feeling is produced. They won't say anything, but something shifts. Rest your chopsticks across the top of your bowl, or on the chopstick rest. To share food, use the serving utensils, or flip your chopsticks and use the clean end. 7 is about the moment you step through someone's front door. Number 7. The Genkan. The Genkan is the small, lowered entryway just inside a Japanese front door. You stop there, remove your shoes, step up, and with that step, the outside world stays behind. This is not just about keeping the floors clean. In Japanese culture, the boundary between soto and uchi, outside and inside, is meaningful. The street carries everything that comes with being out in the world: noise, strangers, the weight of public life. Your shoes belong to that world. They stay at the Genkan. What crosses the threshold is just you. When a visitor walks past without stopping, even if the host waved them in casualty, even if the floors look spotless, it's a bit like skipping that transition, like bringing the outside in without being asked to. Stop at the Genkan, remove your shoes, turn them so the toes face the door, a small detail that tells your host you've thought about it and that they won't need to do it for you. Then step up and wait to be invited further in. If slippers are offered, wear them. Going barefoot on the interior floors, even in clean socks, has its own small implications. Number 8 is at the dinner table. And here's the twist. It's probably something you think is the considerate thing to do. Number 8, pouring your own drink. You're at a group dinner. Your glass gets low. You reach for the bottle and top it off. Nobody says anything, but a small thing just happened. At a Japanese group table, you pour for the people around you, and they pour for you. You pay attention. You notice when the glass next to yours is getting close to empty, and you fill it before the person has to ask. And in return, someone is quietly tracking yours. It sounds like a social convention, but what it actually is, underneath, is attention. Continuous, low-key attention to the people sharing the table with you. Pouring for others is a way of saying, I see you, I've been watching, you matter to me more than I matter to myself right now. When you pour your own glass, you've stepped out of that exchange. Not offensively, nobody will say a word, but you've missed a moment that, in Japanese group culture, is kind of the whole point of being there together. The shift is small. Before you touch the bottle, look at the glasses around you. Pour for the person next to you first. When yours runs low, wait. Someone will notice. Then it's your turn to notice them right back. And now, number 9. We're here. This one isn't about what you do at all. Number 9. Someone at a group dinner offers you a dish. You don't particularly like it. You smile and say, with no bad intentions, "Oh, no thanks, not really my thing." Clear, friendly, honest. The person who offered it nods, smiles back, says nothing. But there's a moment that hangs in the air, brief, quiet, slightly awkward in a way you can feel but can't quite name. Here's what happened. In Japan, a plain, unambiguous no, even a polite one, can feel like handing your discomfort to another person and making it theirs to carry. You've answered clearly, but you've also put them in the position of having made an offer that failed, visibly, with nothing to soften the landing. The awkwardness has landed on them. You've resolved yours at their expense. Instead, a Japanese person might say, "chotto." Just that word or a phrase built around it that trails off. That's a little bit, and then nothing. The meaning is understood by everyone at the table. No one presses. No one has to process a rejection. The moment dissolves. This isn't dishonesty. It's fluency in a different kind of communication, one where what is not said carries as much meaning as what is. The concept is kuki wo yomu, reading the air, sensing the emotional atmosphere in a room, picking up what someone needs without them having to say it, and responding to that, not just to the literal words being exchanged. Directness, the Western kind, can feel to a Japanese person like centering your own clarity at someone else's expense, solving your side of the exchange without making sure theirs is resolved too. You don't have to abandon honesty, but try, just once, softening the edges. Try, "That might be a little difficult for me," instead of a flat no. Leave the sentence a little open, and watch what happens to the energy in the room when you do. That shift, from transmitting to connecting, is really what all 9 of these habits point toward. 9 habits. Tipping when the service was already given completely. Eating while walking through a space everyone's quietly maintaining. Blowing your nose in a silence that belongs to 40 strangers. Sumahara, strong fragrance drifting into air that isn't yours. A phone call filling a train car that had collectively agreed to stay quiet. Chopsticks upright in rice, or food passed chopstick to chopstick in a gesture that belongs to grief. Walking past the Genkan without pausing. Pouring your own glass before you've checked anyone else's. And saying a clean, direct no when a softer word would have let everyone breathe. None of these make you a bad person, not one. They make you someone who grew up inside a different set of invisible rules. Rules so automatic, so shared by everyone around you, that you never had to think about them. You didn't even know they were rules. Japan has its own. And now you know 9 of them. Here's what I keep coming back to. In Japan, good manners aren't a list of do's and don'ts. They're not a code to memorize before you get on the plane. They're a practice of noticing, of seeing the people around you and factoring them in before you act, before you speak, before you pour your own drink. In Japan, manners aren't rules to follow. They're a way of showing you see the people around you. That's the whole thing. So tonight, before you do something automatic, pause for just 1 second. Ask, who else is in this space with me right now? That's the whole shift. 1 second, 1 question. Which of these 9 surprised you most? Drop a number in the comments. I think number 4 wins, but number 9 might be the one that sticks. Tell me which one hit closest to home. If you want more on Japan's invisible rules, the ones that take years to pick up but only a few minutes to understand when someone explains them, subscribe. New video every week. I'll see you in the next one.